Good morning, everybody. Channel's been around about 10 years now, you know that, and I think I attribute its middling success. It's my refusal to change my video style. Now, I've made the same style video for years, so I can start one in 2018 and I can easily pick up where I stopped. So I'm gonna finally get around to finishing this video. Now, I know people don't think I know what an axe is, but I do. I can definitely identify one in a lineup. And this footage here I've been sitting on for years. It proves I own and have used an axe at one point in my life. Why have I had this footage for so long? Well, I was looking for an opportunity. I always wanted to fell a tree. Man, you ain't ever cut down a tree before with an axe? Okay, I have cut down trees with axes before, but for the purpose of this video, to fell a tree with these axes. I misspoke, okay? Felling a small tree or a sapling is the general purpose of an axe of this style, but never found time to sneak into a neighbor's yard to film it. Now, I don't have any trees I want to cut down, but my neighbor has several. I'm sure viewers feel the same way. But if I had, if I did go sneak down and cut down a tree in my neighbor's yard because I wanted to, would I film it? Would I put it on YouTube? Yeah, probably. My wife could film a reaction video of me getting arrested. Man sneaks into a neighbor's backyard and starts hacking on something. Anyway, in case you're not familiar because you watch this channel, the axe is an ancient hand tool. Axes are used to limb trees, fell trees, chop wood, Instagram reels, TikTok videos, sit in crates unused for years. The usual. I bought 2 axes to compare years ago and filmed myself splitting wood, even if, they make mauls or wood splitters specifically for this task. I figured I'd try it and it worked out well. You can split wood with axes. It's got to be the right type of wood. It's got to be the right diameter. But using not quite the right tool for the job has always been this channel's thing. But since it's looking less and less like I'm gonna get a chance to fell a tree and post it, I can offer some general observational comparisons between the Council Tool Boys axe and the Holtz Bruk's Kalix. Why would I post this now? I don't really know anymore. I have this video more finished than other videos right now. I've been writing this video for years now. These are 2 axes around the same size. Would surprise you if they're no longer made. That are for about the same purpose, which again are internet videos. So let's compare the dimensions of these fellers. Oh man, we got the jokes here. It took me 4 years to write that one. The truth is I recycled it from another recent video. It felt right. Okay, that was a stretch. Now, truth be told, I also bought an X27 from Fiskars. They're 36, I think it's a 36-inch handled splitting axe, and I've been using that more lately than these axes. It's often a better tool for what I'm about to show you. And I've said this already, the channel's never been about the better tool, it's about the tool that feels right at the time. Will you work twice as hard? Sure. Will you look like an asshole to someone coming across your video on the internet? You can bet on it. You ever thought about using a splitting maul? But that's what the internet's for, getting mad about content, taking things out of context. Sometimes you take things in context, sometimes you have a reason to be mad, that's fine. Just post your dumb shit and let the hate views roll in. Now first, the boys' axe. These are both kind of boys' axes a little bit. This particular configuration is no longer made visually, but you can find something similar in this range though. So I'm gonna give you the dimensions and the style, and you can figure out what Council Tools' current model in this offering is. This configuration was found on Amazon, and I paid about $36 for it in May of 2018, which is when most of this vintage footage was shot. The boys' axe is a more of a colloquial term, as this is a 28-inch handled axe with a Dayton pattern head. At least that's what the website said. It's a Dayton pattern. Head patterns are a whole thing I'm going to get into. I think Council Tools is now doing as the Swedes do and adding that dark natural forged finish to their axes because it looks cooler on the social media feeds. It looks like heritage, whatever heritage is. Like you point to an axe with this finish on it, you're like, oh, that's heritage. Fiskars Bruk and Holtz Bruk, probably saying that incorrectly, popularized this look and realize assholes on the internet will buy a $200 honest tool you can pass down to generations, post about on forums. People really eat this shit up. However, now that I'm looking at it, I think we're about to start rolling back around on axe head color trends, though. Maybe we'll get back into painting them like this one is with red paint. The axe head here is known as a Dayton in a 2.25 pound size. It's a single bit axe with a minimal beard. Hails from Dayton, Ohio, where they also have trees. And trees that people used to cut down for logging. Now, if you thought knife blade shapes like Warncliffe, reverse tantos, drop point, there was just too many styles, well, axe heads are their own thing, and they look even more similar. I had to go through several top Google results before I found a Dayton pattern mentioned in the drawing, which is a fairly common current pattern. There's a lot of little diagrams out there. There's patterns named after states, slurs about what region you hail from, conjugations of 2 different states. Okay, there's a half wedge in there, which makes sense, but what the hell's a rafting pattern? I read about a rafting pattern. It's about when people used to send logs down the river and make rafts. Sounds dumb to us, but you know there's a guy who has studied the patterns, and he's going to find this video, and he's going to post about the rafting pattern history under here. While you were making poorly researched YouTube videos, he was studying the head. A man's Wisconsin, what's that? Is that someone's last name? 2 N's? There's a Baltimore, Kentucky. Like, did someone see this written down by somebody's grandpa in one book, and now it's an identifiable axe pattern? I think we need to slim down the styles. Anyway, out of the Amazon box, this one needed sharpening. And I don't mean that in a nitpicky way like the sharpening point guy, I want my axe to split a hair. It means it didn't really have an edge on it. It was dull. It was very dull. It couldn't even push cut cardboard. Now I have a little Lansky dual grit puck sharpener, and it took me about 20-25 minutes to sharpen at the time, if I remember correctly. I actually filmed the whole thing, and it's about the time. I filmed it for B-roll, so if you see it oddly placed at times in this video later on, you'll know I didn't have any better footage to fill the gap with. Now the Holtz Bruk Kalix. Now, the Swedish axes and the Scandinavian axes honestly are always more authentic feeling on the social media feeds. They got the forest up there. Autocorrect corrected Holtz Bruk to Holtz Bruk the first time around, which is accurate. Swedish axes are a whole cult. You think we have trees here? Well, no, you don't know shit about trees and taking them down. The Scandinavian region has real trees, and it's child's play everywhere else. Now, you know Gransfors is a high-endish, popular Swedish axe now. And when I was researching this video years ago, I found that they had revamped their image from just, working tools. Well, they bought Wetterlings. They worked with some influencers and kind of started working on their website. And now we have a heritage-style webpage. A heritage-style webpage, you'll know when you see it. It's got some honest photos. Some of them are black and white, lots of desaturation in the photos. Sometimes there's a little bit of a warm tint to them. A heritage website. I do have one Gransfors Bruk someone traded me years ago. I did a video about, but it's pretty good. They're good axes, but this is the Holtz Bruk. Okay, another Bruk. I think Bruk is Forge. Bruk. It's probably Bruk. I'm gonna get hammered on the pronunciation in the comments. Now, when starting this video, Kalix was about $100, or the Kalix, I don't know. I think a similar Gransfors at the time was about 150 to 200. Gransfors is always the more expensive one. And Wetterlings, I think Wetterlings is completely shut down. You can't find them anymore, but those ones go for a lot on eBay. Now, the Kalix here is what's known as a felling axe, which is kind of like a boy's axe. So according to the official website, the Kalix has been replaced with the Agdor 28 Yankee pattern axe, which now has a painted head. See, again, we're coming full circle on the axe head finish trends. Now, if I had made this video in 2018, would I have had this sort of insight about axe head trends? No. But the replacement for the Kalix now looks similar to the Council Tools. And the Council Tools now looks similar to the Holtz Bruk, which I think is still I think Council Tools still into the forge finish look. Now, the reason I purchased both of these axes back then is they were both listed as 2.25 pound heads with a similar profile. Now, the product listings are all over the place on the Kalix on the internet. I've seen it listed from 1 3/4 pound to 2 3/4 pound. However, you have to trust I did research and sorted through the chaff, as these axes total weight is within 10 grams of one another, which is, in axe terms, is the same weight. So I bought 2 different price point axes to compare in the video that were kind of the same, just to, figure out which I liked better. Now the handle on the Agdor looks similar to the Kalix, and considering the weight, the overall profile look, and the handle length, I think you can probably go with the Agdor as a replacement for this. All right, let's compare. First, the price. Now in the pre-pandemic era, before all companies everywhere from eggs to cars gouge the shit out of us, these axes were fairly affordable. I paid 99 bucks for the Holtz Bruks on Amazon, which is the low end of any blunt instrument from Sweden. And then the council tool was about 37 bucks shipped from also Amazon. Now, council tool kind of has like, it's not a social media grade axe. It's more of like a honest working tool, and they're made in the U.S. But Holtz Bruks, we're looking at 130 to 140 for the current replacement, which is the Agdor 28-inch Yankee. Please note, Agdor seems to have several different head patterns and handle lengths, like I mentioned earlier. And now the replacement Council Tool Boys axe with the forged head look in a 28-inch looks like it goes for about 62 bucks on Amazon. Now, at the time, between these two axes, the Council Tool did not come with the sheath, which you're adding about 10 to 20 bucks for. I bought a 33-130 sheath from Forestry Suppliers, which will fit the Dayton head and the Council Tool Yankee pattern. They fix both axes pretty well. And to be honest, these head patterns are extremely similar anyway. And someone will be like, actually, the Yankee is the Dayton and the Dayton is the Yankee. Like, who the fuck cares? Looking at the heads themselves, the axe head, you have the following. The toe is the top part of the bit area. The heel is the bottom part of the bit area, and the bit being the edge. The cheeks are here, you know. you can clap the cheeks. The beard is here, okay. The butt is here. And between the two, the council tools, the main difference is the council tool has a thinner eye, and while the pitch of the cheeks is similar, it has a slightly upswept toe. I don't think these heads perform differently very much. Once you sharpen the council tool, it works just fine. However, if you've ever bought axes or machetes online, you know sometimes they come with an edge and sometimes without. Especially when you're surfing some websites where axes are not, you know, the product descriptions and inventory are not familiar with the people running it, like who writes these. Like buying an axe from Amazon is a little risky sometimes. Now, if you're looking for something that you know is ready to chop, you'll have to buy them from places like Blade HQ, Knife Center, Whiskey River Trading, which is, you know, has a lot of council tools. I signed up to be an affiliate there years ago, but they don't carry this axe anymore. It's the only axe I have. But they're a good website. They post a lot on social media about wood chopping. There's a lot of official council tool dealer and Whiskey River Trading are both good Instagram feeds. If you're into wood splitting, you know, Whiskey River Trader is being an axe retailer primarily. Now, the handles here are hung a bit differently. I know there's specific terminology for this, but I'm not going to learn it, okay? The Whiskey River Trading talks about this in their Instagram feed. They talk about axe head hanging, but it is not an area of interest for me. But here you have a round thing, and then here you have a wedge thing. I have no opinion on the long term, how well these hold. Both have held just fine to this point. I think there's differences in how they hold and there's opinions on which one's better. Of course, there's opinions on just go to Blade forums and figure it out. Anyway, the main difference here in the handle is the feel. The Holtz has a meteor belly and throat on the handle, which sounds creepy, but axe parts are named after human parts.
Does that mean I can sleep with my axe?
The Holtz Bruk's handle has a finer sanded feel. Holtz Bruks usually are complete axes, but sometimes council tools, different retailers will hang the heads on the axes. But overall, I think I prefer the meat of the Holtz handle. Now, all that said, as far as use case, having moved to California and before that living in the Midwest and the East Coast, what you split has a huge impact on the tools you use. Now, most of the stuff I split in Virginia was fresh-ish green silver maple. I spelled it sliver here, huh? How about that? That's not bad. Or some oak from the backyard. I've split other varieties of wood out there. I have not noted the tree every time, but I've generally, when I was out there, most of the wood I split was easier. However, in California, where I actually have to burn wood now, I get a lot of the free stuff that people cut down in their backyards. Those are eucalyptus trees. Those are cottonwood. And these are terrible. It's dense. A lot of this wood is not super green. Some of it is, and I've found that there's not much of a difference. It seems to get harder as it sits longer. Someone's, it's been sitting in someone's yard for like 2 years. They put a post on Facebook Marketplace, and this asshole comes out and picks up your wood with my trailer. I found the Fiskars X27. Some of these you can split them, but you don't split them in the center. You don't split them off to the side. You actually have to split from the outside. And you kind of rotate and take off the outside edges, and then you can start splitting down the center a little bit better. You have to split it into a lot of smaller pieces. Hitting a lot of this wood dead on, it either absorbs it very shallowly or it bounces right off. These are hard to split because the fibers are dense and they're twisted, and when we try to split it, they don't want to come apart. I would not use the Council Tools or the Holtz Bruks for this. Sometimes you come across some really nice wood that's easy to split, and other times you don't. These work well for small to medium rounds of easy to split wood, like I encountered in Virginia. Also, another thing to take into consideration when you're splitting, I prefer a longer handle like on my X27 Fiskars, and that's a 36-inch. Gives me a little more force when I split. Can hit a little bit harder, and I can stay a little bit further away from the stump. If you're doing smaller work, easy to split wood depending on your height, the boys' axes and the 28-inch work fine. It's weird, for the past few years I've been using wood to heat in a relatively warm climate. It doesn't make a lot of sense. The heat in the rental doesn't work very well, so we use the wood stove. So I split a few trailer loads a year of wood of varying quality. And these axes just don't work very well for that anymore. I prefer the Fiskars, and that's what I use. Sometimes my Est-Wing, camper's friend, campfire friend with the sledge will work. Anyway, that about does it. Below the video are original listings, and I hope to provide you current offerings in these basic styles of axes. You can be like, okay, well, this seems like it's the same axe, even if it's a forged finish. Again, where you buy these garden tools can affect the product sent to you. I've found that Council Tool has a wider variation from what I've seen because they're not a hype axe, whereas Holtz Bruks and Bruks, they ship the complete axes to a lot of people. So you're going to get a more consistent quality when you purchase those axes online. However, when you're spending $200 to $300 on an axe, is it worth it? Like, should you just get a $40 Council Tool? There's different theories on which type of axes split better, but these are the ones I got, and these are very common and a very popular style of axe. Say hi to the patrons. They help keep the camera gear updated, and thanks to all the people who helped the stump lifter sell out in about 3 weeks of a run of about 600. Maybe we'll do another run someday, maybe not. So like, subscribe, comment. Thank you for watching.